leaking. They came back to fix it. They didn't give us no hard time. My granddaughter, she was like a little concerned because they were saying that lead was in the water in school. So I assured her that Newark is working on it. They're going to fix the problem. You should be good. But so I was really concerned, more so because, you know, she was more concerned. So when they started saying that they was going to fix it, I was listening to a lot of the town hall meetings that they were having, and I was assuring her, as well as ourselves, that they will get the project done, and we should be good with the water. So I'm so happy that Ross and his team did everything they could to make sure we were safe with the lead in the water. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. And Ms. Jones' story, and thank you for sharing it, is about how it affects multiple generations within one household.
Right.
For you as a grandmother, and your grandbabies worrying about whether they could actually drink water from the tap, or would they be healthy, especially during their formative years, their years of critical development. So thank you for sharing that story.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Jones. And now we'll turn to Ms. Amanda Gentle. You've been with the veteran-owned Newark-based engineering firm Roman E&G for 14 years and serve as a project manager in the company's water division. I understand that you've been one of the main points of contact for the community. Can you tell us how many homes you serviced, or how many lead service lines you've replaced, and how important it's been to collaborate directly with the community members?
Yes, hi, good morning. It's an honor to be here today, and I really appreciate everyone and their efforts to make this program a success. We have worked on 14,000 homes, just above, changing out over 12,000 lead service lines. And in my opinion, as a contractor, we have done a lot of different public work, but the city of Newark has gone above and beyond to change the accessibility for everyone. In my opinion, there are 3 things that the city of Newark did that are significantly different from other utilities with the lead service lines that I've worked on. And I think number 1 is the communication with the community. And as these women said, it's the education they've given the residents. Having after-hours meetings at local community venues where people can go and ask questions. Having an online presence where you can go online and check the status of your own home. Having the mayor do daily updates on Facebook, especially during the pandemic, and speaking about these things. Telling the people there is a lead crisis and we need to fix it, and here's how we're going to do it. So that communication was really important, and I think that helped everybody involved start moving forward. The second is that the city of Newark took responsibility for the entire line, from the main to the meter. This is significantly different from other public utilities, where if it is lead on the homeowner side, they're still responsible for it. Newark taking up that cost says you don't have to be in a certain economic position to have access to clean water. Everyone gets clean water, and I think that's absolutely amazing. The last is that you guys are homeowners. A lot of the city, they're renters. And the city passed an ordinance that allows tenants and renters to authorize this work to be done. And I think that that was a game changer, especially as a contractor, to get access to these homes, because people didn't know their rights. And this allowed, we had 11 contracts, like I said. So we've been at 14,000 homes, 12,000 replacements. There have been hiccups. But overall, the success of this project, I think is monumental and should continue to be a model for the rest of the country. And as a mother, and an expectant mother with my second on the way, and a homeowner myself, it has been an honor to work with the city of Newark and the government and what you guys are doing. You're changing people's lives. We've talked to the residents a lot. We've heard people, our children have lead poisoning. Like, it's sad. And it's wonderful to be making a difference. And the city of Newark is great. You guys are great. Yes, you really are.
Well, one of the aspects of the many that you have highlighted is the importance of the communication between government leaders, elected leaders, and the community, because for too long on this issue, community members have had to almost silently suffer without an acknowledgement of the seriousness of the issue, without an acknowledgement of the fact that it has reached crisis proportions. and without acknowledgement then of the need with a sense of urgency to fix the issue. And again, this has been a model of how that works and how it then has effect. The other piece that you pointed out that bears repeating is the equity issue here. Because lead pipes do exist in high-income communities. But in high-income communities, they have the income to fix it. Which means that whether it gets fixed or not might be a function of how much money you have. And that, of course, is not right. So that's why this issue also has to be addressed in the way that you've done so well here, and thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you, Ms. Gentle. And now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Paulo Peralta, a member of LIUNA and a Newark resident who worked directly on the lead service line replacement. Mr. Peralta, the work that you will do to protect thousands of people from lead contamination is so outstanding. Can you tell us how you got involved in this work, and what does this work mean to you?
Muy buenos días.
Good morning, everyone.
Agradezco primeramente a Dios,
I want to thank God every day
a las autoridades del Estado de New Jersey
for the government of New Jersey
y a la vicepresidenta de los Estados
and
Unidos.
Madam President, Vice
Eh,
President.
Mi nombre es Paulo Peralta.
My name is Pablo Paralta.
Vivo 16 años en el estado de New Jersey, en la ciudad de Newark.
I have been living in Newark, New Jersey for 16 years.
Tengo 2 niños
I have 2 sons,
y trabajé 2 años cambiando los tubos de LED por cobre.
I have been working on changing the lead pipelines for 2 years.
Comenzamos trabajando con el cambio de las tuberías gracias al mayor Baraja, que nos dio la oportunidad a los residentes de Newark para hacer el trabajo.
We started working on the pipelines. Thank you for Mayor Baraka that we started working on the pipelines. We started during COVID.
Comenzamos a trabajar muy fuerte en el invierno haciendo el cambio de los pipes y las familias estaban muy contentas porque era un cambio de las tuberías gratis que se estaba haciendo la ciudad.
We started working on the pipelines during winter, and most of the families were so grateful that we started working on them.
Además de que era algo que no tenía costo, era algo muy interesante, era muy importante para la salud de toda la comunidad.
Even though we started on the pipelines, it was something that was free for the community, and like I said, they were very grateful.
Así que trabajamos duro en invierno, en verano, y yo le agradezco a las autoridades por el trabajo, porque así pudimos mantener a nuestra familia en el tiempo de la pandemia. Muy agradecido con todos. Muchísimas gracias.
We started working in the summer and the winter, and the families were so grateful. Thank you, everyone, for the job you do.
So I'd like to thank you so very much. Mr. Peralta, because this is clearly a table of real leaders and role models, and you are, of course, a real role model for the importance of this work, but also the significance of the training and the skills development that happens in our labor unions, in LIUNA in particular. In fact, with LIUNA, we, with your union, announced this plan, the Biden-Harris Lead Pipe and Paint Action Plan, in December. In fact, you all may know the Secretary of Labor, Marty Walsh, is a very proud member of your union. And even in January, the administrator and I were in Milwaukee meeting with workers there to see the extraordinary training and skills that are required to do this work, and how with the federal investment in a commitment to getting rid of this issue over a short period of time nationally, it's also about jobs development. And to get the jobs done, it means investment in job training. It means investment in upgrading the skills of our workforce and partnering with our labor unions, who are some of the best equipped, traditionally, historically, and currently, to create the apprenticeships that develop the skills that are necessary to do this work. Thank you, Mr. Peralta. Thank you.
And for our final participant, I'd like to turn to Ms. Vivian Carter, which I believe I hear that you'll soon be celebrating your 29th birthday. Is that correct?
A little bit more than that.
All right, well, happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us today. You are a retired educator, a lifelong Newark resident, and a proud mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother.
Yes, I am.
As a senior and lifelong Newark resident, I understand that you're extremely active in your community. Can you tell us more about the outreach that you did to seniors, specifically, and the care that was taken to ensure things were not only put back as they were, but put back, as you say, better than before?
First, I'd like to say good morning. It is truly an honor, and I am truly blessed to be here this morning. But as a lifelong resident of the city of Newark, publicly, I want to thank our mayor, and he's heard me say this before, for a job well done. He's been chosen, and for the position and for the challenge, God has blessed him to meet it. And so I stand before you today. I was very active in what took place in the city of Newark and the community in which I live, which is the Ivy Hill Neighborhood Association community in Ivy Hill. And we are an umbrella for many of the block associations in the community. Ironically, Stephanie and Sakima live in my community also. And as a part of that, we are always in tune and very respectful as to what the needs and wants of are the people in the city of Newark, not just the West Ward, which I live. So we had the opportunity to request a meeting, sort of, with Director Kadeem and the mayor, who came to one of our residents' home, and we literally had a block gathering as to what was going to take place and how they were going to be able to meet the challenge. It was very eye-opening. It was very, I mean, they stood for hours abating any questions and concerns we had. And as a senior, I wanted to know, because I have many seniors in the community in which I live, retired educators, by the way. And the concern is we're on fixed income. How is this going to fracture our in and out, going for doctor's appointments or other to the supermarket or other places we need to go? Because one thing about our area also, it's a lot of one-ways, and then we're right near the Ivy Hill Park. So further up, we even had dead-end streets. So all of this was a concern for us. And so when they came, they assured us and reassured us that none of this could not be done without the community support. So we came up together, I must say, and thank you so much, with a solution for that, which was to get the Ivy Hill Neighborhood Association involved, when actually, because we know our neighbors, we're a very close group in the community in the West Ward, we actually assisted them with going around to our neighbors and asking them to do the release form and to sign it so that we can get it back down to the department as soon as possible. But not only that, what the mayor has done is assured us that as the work was being done, and Amanda could testify to this, because whenever I called, if she wasn't available, she called me back. As a retired educator, and I'm home, I was able to assess what was being done. I even have pictures of my home.
Can you pass that down?
Yes. I even have pictures, as you can see, when they started. And I also want to congratulate the People's Assembly, which is a city program that the mayor has created, and they always keep us abreast as to what was going on. And community meetings were arranged around the city, and they were specific for the status of the Newark's water and lead service line replacement. And this was key, because if you had a concern, they addressed it right away. If you made a phone call and you saw something not being done properly, it was addressed right away. And also, I know for sure, they started at 6 a.m. and they didn't finish until the sun went down. And so even though it might have disrupted the normal flow, because they were consistent and because they were reassuring as to the diligence of getting it done in decency and in order and making sure it was abated, it was a relief to the neighbors and to the community. I also would like to say that we were reassured that they came out to really just see what was going on. And as we have a group fee for our association, so anytime anybody had a concern or needed a question answered, they'd put it on the group meeting. And I think every day you had Facebook Live, and he would address it. And so that made a big impact on residents. And as Shakima said, she's a new homeowner. But I've been in my home for 33 years. And you have others who've been up there for longer than that. And so to get the lead pipes replaced and get the situation taken care of, as an educator, I know the effects of lead on children. And for us to now be reassured that we as residents in the city of Newark, and my home is a family home, so there's always a generation that's there, that we don't have to worry about any more toxic lead affecting the lives of generations now and those yet to come. So again,
So
thank you.
this is part of the spirit behind the work that has been done here as a model and the work that must be done, which is to treat every individual who is facing this issue, understanding their home is a family home. And for that reason must be treated with the dignity, the respect, and the sense of urgency that comes with understanding that home is a family home. But truly, to create an environment as a leader in a community that allows folks to come in a safe place, without judgment, to ask the questions that are the details of life. Is this going to mess up my ability to get to school or get to the grocery store, get to church, get to the doctor's office? That's real. And then we want to make sure that when we implement these plans, that they actually are helpful and don't get in the way of the other obligations people have for their lives. But because you created that space and then used that voice in a way that made sure the details of the plan actually worked for the community, that's why this is a role model. So I thank you, Mrs. Carter, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, I want to thank you, Ms. Carter. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And before I turn it back over to the Vice President, I would be remiss if we did not ask our fearless leader, the Mayor, to just say a few remarks before the Vice President closes it out for us.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't expecting to say anything, but I want to thank the Vice President for being here, for sure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It just means so much. I mean, it all hit me tomorrow. I want to thank the administrator for being here, Regan, our governor, and all the other elected officials here. I mean, people talk about the pressure that it took to make this. The big pressure was in my own house. In the middle of this pandemic, my wife was pregnant, and I live in an old home in the Week Lake section. We had to get our lead service lines replaced too. I was drinking water out of a filter that there was question about whether it worked or not. So she was yelling more than the people in the community was. So the urgency to get it done was very close to me. We did it, and I want to thank everybody in this room for making it happen. So thank you. God bless you all.
Vice President, you want to take us home?
Yeah, just briefly, because so much has been said that needs to be said. This is about a matter of great urgency, and obviously, a matter that is about our children and investing in their health and well-being. So that makes this a public health issue, a public health crisis, dare I say. This is an issue that is about community leadership, and on any issue that we face as a nation, certainly any issue that reaches crisis proportion. Let's use this as an example of where community leadership always leads us in the right direction. Let us think of this as an issue that is, yes, Mrs. Carter, about education, and then the intersection that always exists between public health and education, because that's always a link. Where you see a public health matter that in particular affects children, You will find an educational issue. This is an issue that is about America's workforce and the excellence of that workforce, because we have created structures that allow for incredible training and skills development. And when we do the partnership between elected leaders and governments, and in particular on this issue, our building trades, the workers who have the skill to get the job done, then we see that the job actually gets done. So all of these issues come together around not only the crisis, but really we are here to not talk about the crisis as much as the solution. The solution is evident. And so the bipartisan infrastructure law, the Biden-Harris lead pipe and paint action plan is about using this as a model of what we will do around the country. And for that reason, I thank everybody, because it's not difficult to be a role model, because you got to kind of create it on your own, but you guys did that. And now other cities and other families and children around our country will benefit from the work you did right here. So thank you all. Governor, again, thank you for the warm welcome. Mayor, thank you for your extraordinary leadership. To the members of Congress, the senators, the Congress members, I thank you all.
I want to echo the Vice President's statements, and I do want to say, as we're traveling the country, this is a significant issue in so many places, and unlike many of the places that she and I have been and we plan to go, it's inspiring that we're in a place that has a solution. This Newark pride is contagious. So I just want to say thank you all for your leadership. We're going to carry this story across the country, and I think we should all stand up and just give this topic a round of applause.
Oh.
So, Ms. Jones, we will now file over here for the group photo.
Come on over here.
Are you going to do this, sir? Do you need to identify anybody, right? Are you going to do it?
Yeah. So.
Kathy. la gota gorda. Si me escuchan, buenos días, buenas tardes, saludos.